miracle worker. Lord, we know you're the light in the darkness. And we thank you for it tonight, Jesus. When I see that you're working, even when I feel that you're working, you never stop working. You never stop working. Even when I see that you're working, even when I can feel that you're working, you never stop working. You never stop working. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Yes, God. Yes, Lord. Lord, come and be in this place tonight. We want your Spirit to be allowed to minister in whatever way you need, God. Have your way in this service tonight, Lord. As we move on in our worship, and we sing a song that declares that we're going to sing to you and we're going to worship you regardless of what's going on around us, God. Regardless of anything that's happening in the world tonight, God, we just invite you. We invite you into this building, and we invite you to just go out through this live stream and be with anybody who happens to be watching tonight, God. Wherever you're at right now, just tell him what he is, tell him what he means to you. Tell him how grateful you are for what he's done. Regardless of the storms around you, just raise your hallelujah tonight. Praise you, God. We praise you, God. We thank you, Jesus. We thank you for the cross, God. We thank you for the cross. We thank you for Jesus, God. It's okay just to spend a little time with him tonight. He's got the time. Oh, we love you, my God. I'm surrounded by you. Never like I'm surrounded by you. Never like I'm surrounded by you. Never like I'm surrounded by you.
And welcome to Freedom Church and Freedom Church Online. And when y'all were playing, JC, it just sounds like y'all were going to war tonight. And we are going to war with our enemy, and we seek to take back the land that he has stolen from Orange County as a new church plant. We are just so excited about all that God is doing in this church, and we just want to welcome you all to Freedom Church and to Freedom Church Online. We're just so excited to have a small group here in the sanctuary tonight. If you are unaware, Freedom Church has went into a season of 40 days of prayer, and we have hit day number 7 of 40 days of prayer for our church, for the kingdom, for our community, our lost family members, friends, whatever it is the Lord has laid on our hearts when we gather every night for the next 33 nights. We will be in a season of prayer from 7 to 8 o'clock, and when you start to pray, things start to shift. And I really felt that battle shift in the worship tonight. You guys are really entering in, and I know not all of you can be here every single night, and that's fine, but I encourage you to, at 7 o'clock, know that your pastors are here praying for you, and stop and pray. Stop and lift up the church. God's heart is moved when we tell him ours. And so just stop and pray in this time. I'm going to go to prayer right now before we move on in the service. But Heavenly Father God, we just thank you for the opportunity to once again come into this house, God, and into your house and to worship you, God. We just thank you for all you're doing at Freedom Church, God. We're just thank you for all the praise reports, God, that we have heard over this last week, God, of what you're doing in the lives of people, God. And we just give you the glory and the honor for that, God. We're just so thankful that you're moving, God. And we're just so thankful to be a part of whatever it is your plan is for this church, God. We just thank you, God, for that. Oh, God, have the rest of our service tonight as bring forth the word, God. Let it be your words, not mine, God. Be with us in the rest of the service, God. Touch lives and change hearts in the name of Jesus. Amen. And the church say amen. So I don't know if our are cheerful givers at Freedom Church, and we just want to thank you for your faithful tithing in this time period and your offerings. It's just been so incredible to see how God has blessed us financially during a pandemic, and it's just all God. And I just want to say thank you for being faithful in your tithe. But we follow the Malachi 3:10 principle, which says, "Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, so there may be food in my house. And test me now in this, and in case you have forgotten, and it's been a little while, this is the only area of Scripture where God says it's okay to test Him. He says it's okay to test me with finances. He says, test me now in this, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing until it overflows." So we're just excited for this. You can give online. We are on tithely.com, and so you can go over there and click the button and give online. And we have a basket by the door, but we'll tithe as we do the sanctuaries. Oh yes, I forgot. Thank you. We are now live on our website, so if you need to make a special note tonight, it's called findfreedomchurch.com. You can see updates. You can see everything that's going on. You can also link from that page to our church Facebook page and to our YouTube channel. Yes, Freedom Church has a YouTube channel, so you can link it there and watch past services and just see all that God's doing. And I encourage you to spend some time surfing around that webpage, because what you'll see is really a transformation of how God has really moved in this body of believers. How we started from a basement, we went to the Comfort Inn, another church for a week, back to the basement. Now we're in Freedom Church. It's just really exciting to see God's hand on every single thing that has happened at Freedom Church, and to Him be the glory. I think we have our video next. Thank you, Adam, for lovingly putting those videos together each week. He's a man that wears many hats here at Freedom Church. He's pastor, he is a music person, he is the slideshow guy, he is a contractor here at Freedom Church. It's just incredible that, yes, it's just so incredible, all the talents God has blessed him with. So I just, from wife to husband, I just want to say thank you for all that you do, both for me, but in the church. It's just incredible. And we are so blessed at Freedom Church to have many wonderful men that come in and they're helping and doing things, and we just love all of you. Thank you so much for all of your help, every single person in this church, whether it's been physical labor or you've just been a person that sat down and prayed for this church construction site that we find ourselves in. We just thank you for that. And just a special thanks to the men who came out this week to do some very expensive things, and they saved the church a lot of money getting these things done. So thank you again. Thank you. And I think I have a Get Connected card up here. It'll be on Facebook, but you can contact us with your praise and prayer requests. We want to hear from you. We put that number out So I gave a little bit of a shout out to the men tonight, but tonight we're going to be talking about a woman in Scripture. And so we love the men of our church, they're great. We love the women of our church, they're great too. And we're going to be talking about a woman. I believe the Lord laid this message on my heart months and months ago. And I jotted it down that one day when I felt led that I would preach on this, and I think it was Monday or Tuesday, the Lord was laying a verse on my heart, and I was like, oh, where is that? And I looked back, and it was what I felt God gave me a while ago. So we're going to be in the book of Esther tonight. I don't know how many of you, we're going to be in the book of Esther tonight. I don't know how many of you have spent the time to read the book of Esther. It's a very short book. I've read it, not in this kind of depth before, but I've gone through it. It's a short book. It's only 10 chapters, so it's a really short one. It's so short I actually could print it off and have some more space on the pulpit here, which didn't do me any good because I still have a pile of things here. But it is a short book, but it is a powerful book, and it's an interesting book. There's so much to uncover in the book of Esther that I can preach this one sermon, which I'm going to do. This is not a series, but we could preach for months on all of the things that are found in this short 10-page or 10-chapter book. And one of the most interesting things that I sort of titled this message, but Adam was like, yo, it's a little bit too long, but I'm going to give you my working title. But my working title for tonight's message was Esther, an obscure Jewish orphan, exalted to the highest office in the Parisian kingdom, a biblical Cinderella story, because it really is kind of like a biblical Cinderella story. Who is this woman, Esther? Maybe some of you are scratching your head. We're going into the Old Testament tonight. Esther was a Jewish orphan. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a little bit of summarizing, but as I tell you week after week, read this book this week. See what God reveals to you. See if God gives you a new revelation about the book of Esther for your life. Because I promise you, by the time we're done, we're going to see just how impactful this book was. Esther was a young girl. She did not have parents, and she had a cousin by the name of Mordecai. Mordecai basically raised Esther as his daughter. And so, but the story of Esther really doesn't start out there. When we look at the book of Esther in the beginning, we find out about this guy, and his name is King Xerxes. He's the king of the Parisian Empire. And he's got a queen, and her name is, I'm going to butcher it, I'm really sorry for this, Vashti. Her name is Queen Vashti. And King Xerxes decides one day that he's going to have a big old party. I'm telling you, the book of Esther has parties. It has attempted murder. It has attempted genocide. It has queens being deposed and kicked out of office. It is just chock full of historical significance. And it's really important to kind of get it into our mind as what's happened. So let me set a stage for you tonight. This King Xerxes, he's going to have a big old party. And he does. And he wants to put his wife on parade, and I'm paraphrasing this, but Queen Vashti is his wife, and he wants to but basically bring her down and show her off, and she's like, I'm not coming. And so that does not sit well with King Xerxes, because if the king calls you in those days, you are to come. So this is not good. So he consults some legal people and some smart people who are really intelligent, and they're like, yeah, this is no good. This makes you look really bad. You're the king of this, well, for lack of better words, empire, and your wife is not listening to you. And what's going to happen? It's not lost on me that we have more women in church tonight than we have men. But he says to his wife, his people say to him, this isn't going to look good for the kingdom. We can't have this woman not doing what you say to do. And so the bigger concern was that the other women in the kingdom would hear this, and they would behave just like the queen did. And so he had to put a stop to that. So he takes her out of office. A couple years pass. He knows he's got to pick a queen, and his solution is to call 400 virgins from around the empire and present them to him, and he's going to decide who the next queen is. Kind of interesting. There's a year-long process, too, involved in this. The queen had, or the potential queen had to be beautified, if that's a word. She had to learn how to be beautiful. She had to get special perfumes. She had to learn how to act in a royal manner. There was like all this really big training. I think it's a pain in the butt to put my makeup on in the morning. You know, the 15 minutes it takes me to apply my foundation and blush, that's annoying. These people had to go through like a year-long process of this kind of training. So it's just kind of interesting that, you know, they get these 400 virgins from the kingdom, and there's this one girl, and her name is Esther, and she gets selected out of all the women. And I don't know, after you see maybe 15, everyone might start to look the same, but for some reason, Esther stood out among all the women and becomes queen. Pretty awesome. The poor Jewish girl to queen now of Persia. But there's so much more to the story. I told you, 10 chapters. I mean, I could go on this for the next hour. I promise I won't keep you that long tonight, but there's so much more to the story. Her uncle, her father, Mordecai, tells her, you know, don't reveal your Jewish heritage. So Mordecai, and you'll see it in the later chapter, I believe it's 2, where Mordecai is basically hanging out in the temple, or hanging out at the kingdom. And I suppose, and I'm just kind of speculating that, you know, his daughter's now queen, and he probably wants to make sure she's okay. So he's positioned himself to be hanging out. But what's interesting is he overhears a plot by 2 people that are very close to the king that are going to assassinate him and to kill him. Mordecai hears this plot, and he quickly reveals it to his daughter, Queen Esther. The plot's stopped. Those 2 people are killed. What an interesting story, right? And the days go on. But in the midst of all of this, a really bad dude by the name of Haman gets promoted. And he decides, because he is not a very good person, he is evil, and he's been being led by the devil, he decides that he doesn't like Mordecai because Mordecai won't bow to him. Because Mordecai, he's Jewish, he's not going to bow to this guy named Haman. And so that really ticks off him, and he sets in motion a plan to genocide all the Jews living in Persia in that time. So that brings me to chapter 4. That's a lot. That's a lot, but I want to read something. So what goes out is a edict, and the king agrees, and he says, yes, on such and such date, you can go ahead and annihilate the Jewish people. One interesting piece of Persian history, and you can find it in scriptures, once the king signs something and says, yeah, go do this, even the king can't override his own signature. So there was really nothing that, you know, he couldn't change what was set into motion, he couldn't fix what was set into motion, because he had already put his name on it. So now there's a conspiracy to kill all of the Jews living in this people and in the Persian Empire. Mordecai learns of the plan, and what does Mordecai do? He goes to his daughter, Queen Esther, and he tells her all about the plan. And they have a back and forth through basically in those days, I would send someone to go speak for me, and they would relay the message back and forth. So that's what we're seeing in chapter 4. But I want to read chapter 4, verses 12. Mordecai tells of the plan, Esther gives a response. And this was Mordecai's response. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer. I just want to pause for a second. Esther knew that if she went to the king on behalf of the Jewish people without an invitation to go speak to the king, she knew that she could be killed for that. It was against the rules in the kingdom to not go to the king without an invitation. And Mordecai is basically pleading his case to her, and he says, "Do not think because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." I believe verse 14 is one of the most prolific, powerful words in the Bible. For who knows that you have come to your position for such a time as this? What happens, Pastor Marissa? Esther pleads with her king, King Xerxes. Tells him the story, save these people. Xerxes goes to bed one night. He can't sleep. He says, "Bring me the Chronicles." One of the reasons we know so much about the Persian Empire is because they used to take really good notes. And so in today's world, we have so much history there. So Xerxes, not being able to sleep, lays down and says, "Bring me the Chronicles," and he starts to read. And he just so happens to get the chronicle where Mordecai has stopped the plot of his assassination. Awesome. The Jews are not annihilated. The king basically says, yes, you can go and defend yourself. The Jews take out 75,000 people. They kill the bad dude Haman that we were talking about earlier, and his house is given to Mordecai. And then Mordecai is elevated to a high position within that kingdom. One of the things I want you to keep in mind tonight is when you read the book of Esther this week, and I challenge you to do it, I really do, I challenge it. Read the book of Esther this week. Because one of the most interesting facts in Esther is the fact that God is not mentioned one time in the entire book of Esther. And you might say, Pastor Marissa, why would that be part of our Bible if God is not mentioned one time in the book of Esther? And I would posit that God is mentioned the entire time in the book of Esther because the events that took place in this time period in history could have only been God. It was only God with his invisible hand leading that young girl as a poor Jewish orphan, her being selected to be queen, her father overhearing a plot to kill the king. You know, the enemy wants to take Lord, what's my purpose? Where am I going? I don't know what I'm doing. Is anything I do make a difference? I can promise you, if it's in the scripture, it's true. And I believe that we are a royal priesthood. This church is selected to come into Orange County and do the work and go like Jesus commanded us to. You have a calling on your life. You have a purpose for your life. I believe it. This was Esther's in the beginning of the Bible. We're in the end of the Bible. We're in the end. And if it's in the beginning that these people were calling for such a time as this, and now we're reading in the end, for you are a chosen generation. That's a calling. You were chosen. You were formed. Jeremiah tells us that he knew us before he formed us. If that doesn't tell me of a divine purpose for his people in this time, I don't know what does. And let me just be so bold to say this. We are in a tough world. We are in a tough time. And I am not blinded to the evil that I see in my community and in the nation. I am not blinded to what's happening. I see it very clearly for what it is. But if you are living in this time and you have breath in your lungs, God must think that you have it in you, that he put it in you to take the fight, to make a stand, to say, I'm not going to get involved in the nonsense. I'm going to proclaim the news of Jesus to every single person. May I posit that perhaps you guys, maybe God saved the best for last, because these are really hard times, and he needs a big, bold Christian to stand up and say, not in the church, we're going to stop it. Oh, Holy Spirit, take over this thing this morning. I am all off my notes, guys, but I just want to encourage you. I just want to encourage you tonight that you were created for this time. Don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. You know, sometimes we get kicked down. I'm sorry, sometimes we get kicked down. Sometimes life gets hard. Sometimes the battle's real. All right. We'll go. I'll yell. Sometimes the battle is real. Oh, he's coming. That's the blonde hair guy. Sometimes the battle is real. Sometimes we go through hardships, but don't be discouraged, church. For you were chosen for such a time as this. Don't be discouraged. Don't let the enemy win. When you feel kicked down, get back up. No, don't get up. Get on your knees and pray. Get on your knees and pray. Get on your knees and ask God to take care of the situation. Get on your knees and say, God, not in my strength, but in yours will I overcome. Get on your knees. Praise Him. Be excited to come into the house of God and praise. Y'all were doing war up here. It sounded like a war drum they would play before they go to war. I mean, praise the Lord in this time, for He has chosen you and He has chosen me.
Yes.
A chosen generation. A royal priesthood. A holy nation. His own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of Him who called you out of darkness into His marvelous light, out of
Praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Glory. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord.
You may be
Jesus. We thank you, Jesus.
listening to this message tonight. You may be listening to this message tonight. You may be saying, oh, I don't know if I'm chosen. I done messed up my life. I've made a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you so why. My life was a disaster before I met Jesus Christ. And I'm here to tell you that it is not God's desire that any of His creation perish. He doesn't want to see anyone perish. And if you have stumbled across this live stream tonight, or maybe it's a month or 2 months or a year. I'm telling you, God chose you to watch this because He's calling you. He wants you. He can clean up your mess. He can save you and set you free. With every head bowed in the sanctuary and online, I just pray, Holy Spirit, begin to work right now in those listening. I never want to miss an opportunity at Freedom Church to offer salvation, because that's your first step in your journey with the Lord. That's your first step in your purpose for your existence. That's your first step. So if you tonight say, hey, Marissa, I really don't know God, or maybe I want to, God, but it's been a long time, and I just want to dedicate my life back to Him. I've walked away. I'm going to pray a simple prayer, and then I'm going to ask you to repeat it. And do one more thing. Follow up with us at Freedom Church, because me and Adam want to pray with you. And we want to help, and we want to get you connected to a church, a good Bible-believing church where you can be taught about the Lord. Heavenly Father, I know that I'm a sinner. I know I've made mistakes. God, I accept you as the Lord and Savior of my life. Forgive me of all my sins. Cleanse me of all unrighteousness. And help me understand who I am in you and the purpose that you have sketched out for my life. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Can the church say amen? Adam, I'd like you to lead us in worship.
That is
we come together and just to worship you tonight. I know some joined us online, and I hope, God, that they were able to feel your presence through this online stream tonight. I know there are some here in person, God. Lord, we just want to worship you tonight. We just want to give you everything we've got. Anybody who's watching online, we just want to thank you so much for joining. And stay as long as the camera lady keeps the camera going. So we're just going to worship a little bit tonight. But if you do have to sign off or go or whatever it is, then God bless you as you go. Up the name of Jesus to them and tell them how grateful we are. I was buried beneath